be with you. What's it going to take? I have found myself asking myself that question a lot in the last couple of years. This pandemic needs to end. What's it going to take? We have all probably heard the saying 20% of the people do 80% of the work in the church. We need more of that 80% group to step up and get to work. What's it going to take? A few years ago, I joined a gym. I was very intentional. I made an effort to get to know people around me. I remembered their names, and y'all know that's not easy for me. I took time building those relationships. I helped some of my fellow weightlifters with some personal problems. And always, I bragged on you, the people of Aldersgate, the body of Christ, my church. I invited, without exception, every single one of them to come and check us out. I told them they will never find a more loving example of Christ than this church. Not a single one of them has walked through our doors. What's it going to take? Whenever we go out and eat, Sissy and I will always take time to get to know our server. If he or she looks like they're having a hard day, a bad day, we ask about it. We share compassion. We show genuine concern. We don't want anybody to have a bad day. Eventually, the conversation will come around to the fact that I am a pastor, and that leads us in a whole different direction. Again, I always brag on the love and the genuine care this congregation shows everyone who walks through the doors. And I always issue the invitation. Come check us out. You'll be glad you did. Not a single one of them has walked through the doors of our church. What's it going to take? Now, I know there is a huge difference between making disciples and making church people, new congregation members. Our calling, of course, is to make disciples. But wouldn't it be nice to have some new faces around here? Wouldn't it be nice if we could attract, with the love of God, more people Summer's age, teenaged, so she would have someone with whom to worship, someone just to hang out with when she was here? What's it going to take? Well, in Sunday's passage, Jesus tells us exactly what it's going to take. And it is puzzling, confusing. It will make you scratch your head and wonder. And some people would even call it crazy. Jesus' words to us today certainly show us how risky extravagant love can be, and just exactly what it's going to take. And let me tell you, to call these words, these instructions, a biblical slap in the face is not going very far. In fact, it's not going far enough. A true story that shows the power of Jesus' words for us. and the extravagant love we are supposed to share. Stories told by Joseph Aldrich, do not know him, give credit where credit's due anyway. It tells of meeting a Christian man from India who had a powerful ministry bringing scores of Hindu and Muslim children, students, to Christ. He wanted to know, how are you successful with this in reaching members of these radically different faiths, these very different cultural people? Each Sunday, he said, he and his wife have between 30 and 50 students for dinner. That in itself is quite a commitment, isn't it? Oh, so you talk about Christ at these meals? Aldrich asked. No, he said, it is impossible. It is illegal to talk openly of Christ. So how are you able to bring so many of them into the body of Christ? I love them, he replied, until they ask me why. What a beautiful definition of evangelism. You see, no one has stepped foot through the doors of these churches as a result of our efforts. However, I know in my heart, Sissy and I have not failed. We showed genuine love. We shared genuine compassion. The relationship we had with those people, even if it only lasted a minute, was very real. It was authentic. It was caring. It was filled with all those things Christ wants us to offer the world. So what's it going to take? Jesus knew not everybody was going to listen to his teaching. This kind of love, this kind of generosity and mercy, the kind Jesus will speak to us of again this Sunday, is risky. It doesn't make sense. It asks us to give up control. Some of us aren't good at that. It asks us to walk out of our comfort zones into an adventure. And some of us aren't looking for new adventures. What's it going to take? And yet, even with all the risk, with all the doubt, with all the adventure we may not be looking for, it's the most powerful possible way for us to show the world who Christ is and how different we are because we know who Christ is. To love them until they ask us why. I would love to share more with you. Please give me that opportunity. We meet here at Aldersgate at United Methodist Church in Rock Hill, South Carolina, 2115 Celanese Road, Rock Hill. We'd love to see you. Services begin at 10:30. If you care to come and join us earlier for Sunday school, that begins at 9:15. We would love to show you Christ. We would love to see you. Join us this Sunday.